What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. I'm going to continue to examine my top 10 greatest fighters of all times. I'm going to skip number 5 and go directly to number 6, my 6th greatest fighter of all times. Had a record of 220 total bouts, 186 wins, 23 losses, 132 knockouts. He was stopped 7 times, but he would knock out 7 Black Murderers Raw opponents. He had 10 draws and 1,472 rounds of boxing experience. Now that's a fighter. He was known to the boxing fraternity as the Old Mongoose. Many knew him as the Ancient Archie. But his name was Archie Moore. Now his birth certificate was suspect. In fact, no one actually seen it. If you ask Archie Moore when he was born, based on when you asked him, that's the date that you would receive. But rest for sure, he died December 9th, 1998 in San Diego, California. I had the pleasure of meeting Archie Moore. He was suffering from a heart attack. Stood 5 foot 11 inches, had a 75-inch reach. He was a light heavyweight who fought from 1935 to 1963. He'd be in the ring with Curtis the Hatchet Man Shepard, Charlie Doc Williams, Sammy Slaughter, and Leonard Marrow, Jimmy Bivens, and Oakland Billy Smith. Would take on Burt Lytell and Ezzard Charles. He was a tremendous fighter. It's hard to say who he didn't fight. Took on all challenges. But Charlie Burley were 2 fights that he just couldn't get past. Fought him twice. Charlie Burley was in the ring with Billy Seuss, Jimmy Leto, Leon Zarita. He was in the ring with Fitzy Civic 3 times, and Coco Kid, Ezzard Charles, and Chuck Higgins. He would face Holman Williams 7 times, win 3, lose 3, and have 1 no contest. Aaron Little Tiger Wade. What a fighter was, Charlie Burley. But Archie Moore would take on Ezzard Charles, Cincinnati, Ohio. Ezzard Charles had a record of 121 total bouts, 95 wins, 25 losses, 52 knockouts. And he'd be in a ring with Charlie Burley 2 separate occasions. He would take on Tommy Hurricane Jackson and Booker Beckworth, Joey Maxim. Ezzard Charles was one hell of a fighter. He would become the NBA World Heavyweight Champion in 1949 when he would take on Jersey Joe Walcott for the vacant heavyweight championship belt. He'd be in the ring with Archie Moore 4 times. He'd also fight Rocky Marciano twice in 1954. Archie Moore would take on Joey Maxim. He had a record of 116 total bouts, 83 wins, 29 losses, 22 knockouts. Fought him December 17th, 1952. Once again, June 24th, 1953. Then again, January 27th, 1954. Joey Maxim had demanded and received $100,000. Archie Moore would receive $800. Archie Moore would be in a ring with Jimmy Bivens, August 22nd, 1945, Langfront Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. He would stand 5 foot 9 inches, had a 76-inch reach. He had a record of 112 total bouts, 86 wins, 25 losses, and 31 knockouts. Tommy Hurricane Jackson, Tommy Harrison, Coley Wallace, Joe Louis, Bob Baker, and Joey Maxim. Archie Moore would take on Harold Johnson 4 times. He would defeat him 3 times and lose to him once. Fought on April 26, 1949, 24-0 at the Convention Hall. He would defeat him. September 24th, 1951, 32-3, Milwaukee Arena, and he would lose to him. January 29th, 1952, 34-3, Toledo, Ohio, and he would defeat him. August 11th, 1954, 47-5, Madison Square Garden, and he would defeat him again. He'd be in the ring with Yvonne Durrell, and in that fight, Jack Sharkey was the referee. December 10th, 1958, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Oh, what a fight that was. Durrell would drop Archie Moore in the first round, and once again in the 9th round. Dropped him a total of 3 times, and round 1 alone. Round 5, Archie Moore would drop Yvonne Durrell. These 2 men would go back and forth. But in the 11th round, Yvonne Durrell could no longer continue. Now, Archie Moore would be in the ring with Rocky Marciano in 1955. Rocky Marciano had a record of 48-0 with 42 knockouts. Wednesday, September 21st, 1955, New York's Yankee Stadium. For the NBA Heavyweight Championship title. The fight would go 15 rounds. It was scheduled for 15 rounds, and Archie Moore would go in 9. Now, 1960, the NBA would strip Archie Moore of his light heavyweight championship belt. In 1962, he'd be stripped from the New York Sack for no title defenses. Being in the ring with Willie Pastrano, had a record of 54-10. May 28, 1962, Los Angeles, California. He would take on Muhammad Ali, had a record of 15-0 with 12 knockouts. November 15, 1962, in Los Angeles, California. And Muhammad Ali didn't like the fact that Archie Moore would have him sweeping the floor. And he said, "I didn't come here for that." And Archie Moore said, "You do what I tell you." And Muhammad Ali said, "I'm not going to argue with you. You're old enough to be my granddaddy." Now Archie Moore would grab the groom, throw it down, and say, "Let's have at it." Those who jumped in and said, "No, let's make a fight out of it," and so on and so forth. So Muhammad Ali would say more and 4, and that's exactly what happened. Archie Moore would be in a ring with Big Boy Hughes. Had a record of 77 total bouts, 50 wins, 19 losses, 19 knockouts. And he would stop 13 times. Fought him June 22nd, 1943, at Lane Field, San Diego, California. He'd also fight Freddie Dixon and Charlie Burley, as we know. Eddie Booker. He would take the California State Middleweight Championship belt away from Eddie Booker. But then again, he would lose it in a rematch with Eddie Booker. Jack Chase and Turkey Thompson. Johnny Bandit Romero. He would face Shorty Hughes. December 29th, 1939, San Diego, California. He would also be in the ring with Aaron Little Tiger Wade, August 16th, 1943, and Teddy Urarth, Eddie Booker, and Freddie Dixon. He fought Eddie Booker February 21st, 1942, January 21st, 1944. Fought him at the Coliseum in San Diego, California. 12-round draw, an 8th-round technical knockout. For the United States California State Championship. Eddie Booker had a record of 79 total bouts, 66 wins, 5 losses, 34 knockouts, and 8 draws. He had 5 fights with Jack Chase, who was known as Little Joe Louis. November 26, 1943, May 8, 1943, August 2nd, 1943, and November 6, 1946, as well as March 18, 1947. We take on Johnny Bandit Romero, who was a southpaw. He had a total bout career of 194 fights, 139 wins, 49 losses, and a handful of knockouts. Be in the ring with Turkey Thompson and Lloyd Marshall, Eddie Booker, and Big Boy Hughes. What a fighter was Archie Moore. I don't believe Archie Moore is as appreciated as he should be. He's in a lot of boxing enthusiasts' top list as a light heavyweight champion. I have him as the greatest light heavyweight champion for various reasons. Archie Moore would be in the ring with Lloyd Marshall, May 21st, 1945. June 26, 1945. When he fought Charlie Burley, he fought him April 21st, 1944. Archie Moore was dropped in the fourth round 4 times. The Legion Stadium in Hollywood, California. Be in the ring with Coco Kid, September 17, 1945, and he would defeat him in Baltimore, in the Coliseum Stadium. Be in the ring with Holman Williams, October 22nd, 1945, in Baltimore, Coliseum. Take on Alabama Kid and Charlie Doc Williams, Bob Baker, Burt Whitehurst. Nino Valdez and Carl Bobo Olson. Fort Olson in 1955. Frank Buford, Clarence Henry, Bob Dulop, Leonard Dulop. We'll also take on Leonard Marrow, as well as Jimmy Slade, Alabama Kid twice. Archie Moore was in the ring with Lloyd Marshall 2 times, May 2nd, 1945, and June 26, 1945. Ezra Charles 3 times, 1946, 47, and 48. Charles would win all 3 of those matches, 46, 47, and 48. He would also have Rocky Graziano and Tony Zale. Moore would be in the ring with Alabama Kid twice, January 10th, 1949, and March 4th, 1949. Archie Moore would defeat him twice. Be in the ring with Howard Johnson 5 times, 4 wins, and 1 loss, between 1949 and 1954. And when he took on Charlie Burley, he took him on 3 separate occasions. April 19th, 1948, December 6th, 1949. Would take on Jimmy Bivens 5 times, won 4, and lost 1, between 1945 and 1951. Would take on Burt Littell twice, July 14th, 1947, and January 31st, 1950. Take on Jack Chase 6 times. He won 4, 1 draw, and 1 loss, between 1942 and 1947. Now he would take on Holman Williams. Holman Williams had faced Coco Kid 14 times. The Kid won 9 times, and Holman Williams won 3 times. They would have 2 draws. Holman Williams would be in the ring with Charlie Burley 7 times. He would win 3, he would lose 3, and have 1 draw. Holman Williams would be in the ring with Jose Basora 6 times. Williams would win 2, Basora would win 3, and they would have 1 draw. These are the kind of opponents that Archie Moore would be in the ring with. Archie Moore, my estimation, the greatest light heavyweight champion in boxing history. And I have him ranked number 6, the greatest fighter of all times. Thanks for watching. Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. All great fights and all great fighters would never be forgotten on my channel. Shout out to Archie Moore, the old Mongoose, Ancient Archie. What a great fighter. What a great fighter.
Both you boys understand the rules under the supervision of the York State Athletic Commission. Now, I'm not in here to pull you apart. You're at a break when I tell you. I don't want no deliberate holding. I want you to keep your punches up, your gloves closed, and thumbs in at all time. And if you have a knockdown, I want you to go to a corner and stay there till I tell you to come out. Now shake hands and give us a clean fight.
We're looking at Archie Moore
the top contender for the
and Jimmy
crown,
Bivens.
worn by Joey Maxim. Considered by many the uncrowned champion, is meeting no stranger here tonight in the person of Jimmy Bivens, the erstwhile contender for the heavyweight title. Archie Moore in the white trunks, Jimmy Bivens in the black trunks. Round number 1 here at St. Nick's Arena in New York. This is the 5th time these two boys have fought. Archie Moore holds 3-1. 2 knockouts in a decision over Jimmy Bivens, who knocked out Archie Moore. Two minutes to go in round number 1.
Now this is their 5th and final fight. It took place in 1951. And these two men are campaigning for the heavyweight championship belt. Archie Moore's in white. Jimmy Bivens is in blue.
Bivens is also a powerful right-handed puncher.
Had the pleasure of meeting both these men. And both were outstanding fighters. Moore began his professional debut in 1935. Jimmy Bivens began his professional debut in 1940.
1 minute to go, round 1 of a 10-rounder here at St. Nick's Arena in New York.
Now, St. Nicholas is located on Broadway, on 66th Street in Hell's Kitchen.
Half a minute to go, round 1.
That's in Manhattan, New York. It's across the street from where the Lincoln Center is today. The St. Nicholas Arena is where Benny Leonard would die. He would pass away while he was refereeing a match. That took place in St. Nicholas Arena.
There's the end of round 1 here at the St. Nick's Arena. As for Archie Moore, in whose corner we now gaze, most of the boys try to duck this boy who is called the uncrowned light heavyweight champion. He's been a great fighter. He likes to throw that swing straight right cross. And Jimmy Bivens, who is on the comeback trail under the management of Ali Zach, fought a beautiful bout just 10 days ago against Tiger Ted Lowry down in Baltimore, a fight to which I listened, and he's in sharp condition, as are both boys. Indeed they are. You'll see that.
1 1/2.
The same height, 5 feet 11.
See, Jimmy Bivens fought 10 days ago against Tiger Ted Lowry.
176.5 to 180.
And he's in the ring now with Archie Moore.
There's the bell ending round number 3. Bivens seems to be annoying Moore very considerably with that dangling left hand, as you've been watching.
This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Shout out to Archie Moore. Shout out to Jimmy Bivens. Archie Moore is my number 1 greatest light heavyweight champion. And number 6 greatest fighter of all time. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Get moving either. Every fighter has habits, and it's impossible to change them in a fight. That's why these two guys have each other stymied. They know every move that's coming.
Just a little bonus coverage. You have Archie Moore in the ring with Harold Johnson. Had the pleasure of meeting Harold Johnson in Philadelphia. Harold Johnson would become the light heavyweight championship title holder, but Archie Moore would be stripped of both the NBA and the New York SAC light heavyweight championship belts. Oh, Archie Moore hurt Harold Johnson.
Johnson is keeping a step and a half, sometimes 2 steps away from Moore. Archie's best shot is to close it up, pull him into the ropes, and try and slow him down. Look at him. You've got him, Archie. There. A great right hand. Johnson's getting up. And Goldstein's making another mistake. He's giving him an 8 count. Archie hit him now. Johnson's shot. Watch him, Goldstein. That's right. Look at Moore. He had to pull it out or he was through.